Welcome to the 8th oldest stadium in the country, Vaught Hemingway in Oxford, Mississippi, home of the Ole Miss Rebels, where the fans never lose a tailgate and don't plan on losing the game today. And while today is the final home game of the season for one team, it is more importantly a celebration, Senior Day. As we'll see, the number 10 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on a fellow SEC opponent, the Ole Miss Rebels. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. The Rebels will kick it away to start. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So Oklahoma's offense will have the first possession of the game. And here he comes, and you may think that you can take a wide receiver out of the game plan, but Jesse, with this guy, he sort of believes, I'm him. I'm the dude.
Yeah, and he gives defensive coordinators nightmares, too. I swear, when you watch this guy's highlight tape, man, he scares you to death with his speed. He can take the top off the defense. He can change the game, David, on any given play.
And so how many different ways can I continue to give him touches? You know, they're going to split him out wide. I'd hand him the football. I'd throw it to him quick. I'd throw it to him deep. This is a playmaker that will be featured.
Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. Good pickup on the ground, and they'll mark him down at the 39. The Sooners want to move quickly. Sometimes people say, if you're good enough, what's the big deal about going on the road? But if you're not careful, you might find out in a spot like this one, guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a hostile environment, and you know you're going to be getting the opponent's A-game for this one. They've circled this one all off-season, so they better be ready to bring it today, David.
And the hardest thing to do in college football is to go on the road. Everything about it changes, and you want to shut this crowd up early. You don't want to give them belief, because if it starts to build throughout the game, look out.
What a nifty run there to pick up the first down. And the Sooners are marching down the field.
And I think on that last run play on third down here early in the game, they're making a statement that we believe we're the more physical team. We're going to run the football even if you know it's coming at you. Nice job. They got the ball at midfield. I expect to see more run plays coming in.
Off play action. Throws to the wideout. Fires and picked off. Trying to take it back. Smashes through the tackle. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but on the great return to improve this field position.
And that's kind of a double whammy for this offense, because on their opening drive, not only did they turn it over with the interception, but they've now set their defense up in a really tough spot deep in their own end.
A great spot to start this drive for the offense. He's looking to throw it. Tight end finds a soft spot. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. The run to the left. Oh, big juke to get past. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. He's looking to throw. He's got it. They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with a first down. On the doorstep of cashing it in for the offense. Trying to slam in. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Rebels!
You know, this offense knew coming into the season it was so important for this guy to stay healthy. They needed him week in, week out, because he plays at such a high level, and he's showing it here. That last carry was his 10th rushing touchdown of the season.
Lining up to add another. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finish it off with a short plunge into the end zone. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Here come the Sooners ready to go on offense. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions. But I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did on the first part of that drive that made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? On this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
The Sooners are in the hurry-up.
I'll tell you, I love the play call on first down here. You're just trying to find an easy completion, and the shortest throw on the field for the quarterback is finding your biggest target, and that's the tight end. Nice job.
He steps out of bounds, but he's got a first down on the play. The Sooners come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Working that left side. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep them from getting the first down.
It's a really nice throw. It's so impressive watching this Oklahoma passing attack now. You think back to Bob Stoops taking a...
Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49.
Well, the offense trying to stay aggressive, right? You just came up with a huge play, and right away you go back to another pass. You got to do a better job protecting your quarterback. You can't give up a sack.
Second down now after the sack. He's looking to throw. Fires to the wideout. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. Third down coming. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. Another incompletion on third down. And the Sooners line up to punt it away. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. Now it's going to get a chance to field that one, and the punt will bounce out of bounds.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. He's in open space downfield. And he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma! You're not going to keep the lid on this guy forever. Sooner or later, he's going to get loose.
He is. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I mean, this dude can make plays. That's why you keep feeding it to him, because at some point, he's going to break it loose and make a huge play.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. Smashes it through for the PAT. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Fellas, I think at least a portion of your audience will have an interest in the one that just finished up. LSU managed to eke out the victory in a tighter than expected one. Don't blame the gumbo there in Baton Rouge this week. These Tigers are to blame for this one being this close. A lot to go through in the film session this week for both teams. But, boy, it sure is going to be easier for the side that came away with the win.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. They knock him down after a gain of 3 to the 23. And the Rebels headed quickly to the line. On third and long, he has to throw for it. Firing to the right, complete. Just what they were looking for to get this drive rolling. They're out to the 35. He's going to pass. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes.
Well, after having 3 sacks in their last game, this offense knew they had to ID where this guy was going to line up every play, and they had to have an answer for him. Didn't have one there. He is so strong. He's so fast, and he just knows how to get home to the quarterback. He's got a sixth sense.
Looking to pass on second down. And those two couldn't make the connection. It's an incomplete pass. This is a 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And they wanted it all on 3rd down, but now dealing with 4th down. The Rebels decide to punt it away. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Looking for running room, he'll get it to the 43-yard line before he stops. Guys, we'll get another look at this Oklahoma offense. How big is this drive? Scored a touchdown the last time they had it. Defense gets a stop, and now it's up to them in a tie game.
All right, so if you're the offensive coordinator here, let's dial it in. Who are your best matchups and best playmakers to take advantage of this golden opportunity?
Yeah, and I'm interested to see this defense, too. Like, the momentum is clearly not in your favor. How do you get it back? How do you make a big play? Do you be more aggressive here to try to get the football back to your offense?
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. He's looking to throw. And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. Getting some heat. Safe completion on the screen. And he'll step across the sidelines after making a good gain on that one. And now on 4th down, they'll try a field goal. And he'll have to find the line and generate some power, a 46-yarder from the left. He got it. And guys, after the field goal, now they have the lead. So they are lining up to kick it off after that last drive. Put a 3-spot on the board, and now the defense will try to shut him down. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. And the Rebels want to pick up the tempo. On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Quickly out to the tight end. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down. The Rebels come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll try the run. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Tried to pound it on 1st down, now back to the line. They'll run play action. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away. Here they come, facing 3rd and long from the 40. From the gun, wants to pass. The quarterback bought as much time as he could, but the defense got to him and sacked him.
Defensive linemen live to get after the quarterback, to get sacks, to get by those big hog mollies up front on the offensive line and say, you taste dirt.
And the Rebels send out the punt unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Here comes the Sooner offense back onto the field. They kicked a field goal on the last drive, Jesse. They've got the lead. Don't make a dumb mistake, but maintain your aggressive play calling.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's the play caller right now just taking a look at that script he's got in front of him and finding out where are my playmakers, who can we take advantage of on this defense to get a touchdown here, baby.
Yeah, and just keep moving the ball down the field. Just execute a little bit better in the red zone. There's no need to panic. We're moving the football, and we got the lead.
Quarterback on the keeper. And the defense knew exactly where that first down line was, and they stopped him short. The Sooners will try to pin them back with the punt. He'll call for the fair catch here. First play of this drive comes from the 27. From the gun, the give, looking for room. Get him on the ground after a 4-yard run out to the 31. Solid pickup of 4 on first down and 2nd and 6. He leaves it with his back. Pushes ahead for a couple. They'll mark it at the 33. It'll be 3rd and short from their own 33. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds his big tight end. Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a first down. The Rebels racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Well, they pick up the first against zone coverage. I think a big part of this for young quarterbacks out there is if you're going to be throwing into zone coverage, you got to throw on time. You can't stare down receivers because the entire defense has their eyes on you, so you can't telegraph where the ball's going. You've got to hold it to the very last possible second. Try to freeze defenders with your eyes, and then throw the ball into open areas of the field, anticipating where your guy's going to be.
They've got some work to do on this 3rd and long from the 40. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires the pass, intercepted. He'll go down right there, but what a big play to come up with that turnover.
Defensive backs have tough jobs. I mean, you think about whether you play nickel, whether you play dime, whatever it is, you put more DBs on the field. It's more speed. It's more guys that can cover, but they also got to cover that ground. But to cover the ground and make the pick, a lot of times you don't see that. Superb effort by that guy.
Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. The last time we saw this offense, we had to look quick. It was a 3-and-out, Jesse.
They just had no rhythm in that last drive. So someone's going to have to step up and make a play, David, and get this thing going.
Yeah, let's find some juice. Find your guy. Find those plays that you know you can run inside out, forward, backwards. Get some first downs. Get some positive momentum.
Handoff from the shotgun. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. He'll do it himself. Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense. Quick completion to the right. And they pick up just a few on that completion. Now on 2nd down. Trying play action. Fires to the right. Good quickness to grab it off the bounce. The Sooners are moving quickly down the field.
Well, he's able to make it easy after that catch, and I think his speed is something that just scares DBs to death. And you think about great Oklahoma receivers recently, guys like CeeDee Lamb, Sterling Shepard, Hollywood Brown. DBs gave them so much cushion because they were afraid they were going to get run by, and I think that's how defenses treat this guy too. With his speed and his playmaking ability, he scares you to death, and that cushion helps him out tremendously.
Brought to the ground, but not before getting enough for the first down. And the Sooners have it with a 1st and 10. Red pass, it's complete.
Love the decision-making by the quarterback there on the RPO play. Defense took everything away deep down the field, so just check it down, get it to your guy in the right flat, and let him go get yards.
On 2nd down, looking again to throw. Makes his connection. Down to the 3-yard line, and that's where they'll have it 1st and goal. Defense is backed up. Shadow of the goalpost trying to defend their own end zone. He'll pull it on the read. And he sprints to the end zone. Touchdown Sooners! Speed behind center cannot be stopped, and the defense really can't even contain it.
No, and especially when the offense coordinator knows how to use it. You got a quarterback that can run like this, use him early and often.
PAT unit on the field. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. They took it 64 yards right down the field and closed the deal with a 3-yard touchdown run. And he takes this from inside the 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The offense lining up for a first down play. Power football with the run. He found a hole, got about 5. He's down at the 21. And the Rebels moving quickly to the line. Quarterback wants to throw on second down. And that pass picked off. Couldn't find much breathing room to return it, but the interception has this offense in business at the 27. We reached the quarter break with Oklahoma on top. They wanted to strike first and strike hard, and they've been able to do that here in the first quarter as we take a look at the stats. First down to start the drive after the break. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. And they try the middle of this defense, and that is not happening. The play-action fake. It's caught downfield. And he's brought to the ground, but not before he gets enough for the first down. The Sooners are threatening in the red zone. Looking to move it through the air. And the pass is incomplete, but the flag flies, and there was a lot of early contact there.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's called it.
He's got it down to the 1-yard line right on the doorstep of Pater. Now on second and goal. He'll keep it himself. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Oklahoma!
Well, the defense thought they had a plan for this option attack, and this quarterback, they repped against him in practice all week, but it's one thing to do it against your scout team, and it's one thing to try to stop that guy. He is very dangerous. That's already the second rushing touchdown using the option.
Lining up for the PAT. And with the extra point, they now have a 3-possession lead at 17. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. After giving up that score, now it's incumbent on this offense to kind of get a back and forth going, Jesse, in this game.
They got to put some points on the board here. There's obviously a lot of football to go, so it's not necessarily panic time just yet, but I'm getting the ball into the hands of my best playmakers on this drive.
I hear you, Jesse, but not panic time. Have you seen my defense? I mean, I'm not trusting them to get a lot of stops, so he puts a lot of pressure on this offense.
They'll try to run for it. Still running at the 40. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they have a first down at the 43. The Rebels in the hurry-up.
All right, well, look, I know the defense was feeling real good about their run D coming into this one and how they've been playing up to this point, but finally, David, the offense breaks through, and they finally generate something positive on the ground.
And I can't tell you how easy it is. When you're going to throw the ball consistently, and I know it, I'm going to pin my ears back, and I'm going to get to the quarterback. It makes life really easy on the defensive line, but when you can have balance, now the defense doesn't know what's coming. They need more of this if they're going to be...
And that is interception number 3 on the day. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
I tell you what, I don't know if I'm going to try him much more. Goodness gracious, you can tell he's ready for what he's seeing. Second interception. I would not throw near that guy anymore. You might want to try the other side of the field.
The Sooner offense returns to the field. This has been exactly the way you draw things up, David. The offense has really been moving the football.
And it's been great execution. They've done exactly what they've wanted to do. Build the lead. Now Palmer's a different animal. Now you got to protect him.
You can tell they were paying attention in practice this week in the film room because they have gone out, everybody right now on the same page.
They think they can impose their will here with the run to the right. And he's brought down after a nice gain. From the 44-yard line, the offense snaps it on first down.
I think a big key in this team's success today has been their ability to run the football. They've been able to just hand it off and go churn out yards. They've had this defense on their heels all game long. It's given them a big cushion in this game so far. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. Out of the gun to give to the back. And he was able to get away from one tackle, but plenty of help was on the way. Decent pickup on that play. They move the tight end all over. On third and short, they keep it on the ground here. They'll pick up enough yardage for the first down. They've got it at the 30. The Sooners come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Quarterback on the keeper. And you can forget running in the middle against this defense. Let's see what they've got on second down.
The offense thought they had a good look to run that play into with the QB, but there's just an example of a defender winning his one-on-one battle and making a tremendous play. Great effort by that guy.
He's brought down, but not before they pick up the big first down. Might as well give it to him again. He'll be brought down at the 5-yard line, and this defense is on its heels. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. They'll leave it with him. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, Sooners!
Wow, this offense, they have a lot of faith in this running back. Knowing if they get down in this area of the field, he can get it done and he can answer the bell. 2 rushing touchdowns already for this offense.
Ready to try the point after. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
31, Ole Miss 7.
On the move from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. They face a pretty tall mountain here, Jesse, down 24, but if they're going to climb it, this is a good time to start.
Sense of urgency's got to be big right here. You just get the feeling at this point of the game, David, they've got to score on this drive. Obviously, their defense needs to get stops, but at this point, offensively, they've got to execute much better.
They got to be super aggressive. Down 24, you're going to need 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions, everything to kind of go your way. So fast and throwing the football.
On third and short, just trying to get enough for the first down. And the Rebels get enough to move the chains. Lining up from the 34 on first down. They'll give it to him again. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe, 2nd and 7. Kept it on the ground on first down, now back to the line. On second down, he'll let it fly. Fires to the big fella. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground covered. Pick up the first. They'll try to power their way ahead. Shakes off the defender. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. The Rebels will bring the punt team onto the field. Signals for the fair catch, and that's where they'll put it in play just outside the 20. Here comes the Oklahoma offense. There wasn't much need to throw it around on that last drive for the touchdown, Jesse. They got it done running the ball.
And, David, I don't think you have to overthink this thing. If they can't stop you running it, why would you stop handing it off? Just keep at it here on this drive.
Well, and if I'm the defense, I'm making some changes. I'm bringing in more big bodies. I'm playing more aggressive towards the line of scrimmage. I am not going to let them have that kind of drive again.
Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. He'll try to pick it up on the ground. He'll have enough to move the chains. It's first down at the 38. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, running back gets to give. What a good run there. He has enough for the first down. And the Sooners have their offense in high gear. He'll do it himself. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. Second down coming up. The give to the running back from the shotgun. They are on the move down to the 32, and they pick up another first down.
Another good run. Man, he has been picking up yards in bunches today. Jesse showing off all the skills.
And he's showing no signs of slowing down, David. This guy just gets better as the game goes on. He is a beast.
They're down to the 32-yard line on 1st and 10. The give to the back. At the 20, he's got space. And they'll finally bring him down after he rips off a huge play. The Sooners getting set on 1st and 10. He's got it on the move. That completion will take it inside the 4, and the offense is threatening. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Movement here from the tight end. He'll pull it on the read. And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Oklahoma!
Reese, that's 3 for a young fella. I mean, this dude's smelling the end zone. Anytime he gets near it, you know he's going to lower his shoulder, do whatever it takes to get in the end zone. The hat trick, the 3rd touchdown.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great college football matchup. Oklahoma State is down, but they are not out of it. Not inside Boone Pickens Stadium, one of the best home field advantages in all of college football. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Kansas State. We promise to keep you posted on what goes down in this exciting college football matchup.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Maybe picked up a couple. He's down at the 24. Boy, could they use a conversion on 3rd and short from their own 24. He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline. And he reels it in at the 15-yard line.
And how about the big strike down the field? I love when offenses take shots down the field, try to make big plays. Now they're set up in the red zone.
The entire complexion of this possession changed on that one play. Now they've got it 1st and 10 inside the 20. Trying to cap this drive with the pass. He's got it and still on his feet. That completion takes them down to the 7-yard line, and they are ready to strike. Looking to throw on 2nd down. He makes a grab. They get him stopped at the 5-yard line, but it will be 1st and goal from there. So close to cashing it in for this offense. They'll keep it on the ground for 1st and goal. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. Now on 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in. He works his way ever closer all the way down to the 1-yard line. They've moved it right to the precipice of a score, and they need one more yard. Barges ahead. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Well, somebody's been doing their box jumps.
Great line, getting up in the air. Hey, listen, I'm taking a picture of that, saving it. That might be my screensaver on my phone. That vertical way up in the air.
He'll try to tack on one more. Bangs it through for an extra point. So a drive there of 82 yards, and they capped it off with a 1-yard plunge.
38, Ole Miss, 14.
Here's the return from inside his 10. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. Now the Oklahoma offense will go back to work. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. 2nd and 10 after the previous play. Off the play fake. It's complete. And he almost ran away from everybody on that one. A huge pickup on that play. It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And, Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. Give up a big chunk play, and it's right back at them. That last completion sets him up on 2nd down. They'll give it to the back. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. This feels like 4-down territory, 3rd and short from the 40. He'll keep it himself. They were all over him, nowhere to go as that 3rd down play turned into a disaster. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. No opportunity to run it back as the ball goes out of bounds. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. These guys scored a touchdown the last time they had it. Now a chance to really dig their way out of this hole.
Yeah, and it's complimentary football, right? Offense doing their job, scoring, defense getting the stop. Offense has got the ball right back. Palmer, go back to that last drive, revisit it, rehash some of the same plays.
Yeah, and if you're the quarterback here, think about where are my best matchups too. We're going to have to throw the football at some point here, so where do I want to take advantage of this defense and what areas of the field, and where are my best opportunities?
Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. Going to the running game. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. We've made our way to the 2-minute warning, and now they'll try to at least cut a little something off of this lead before the break. He's got great speed. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the Oak. They're going to open this drive with a pass. He finds his man. They'll get him stopped at the 34. He's got 10 yards on that one and a first down. He wants to throw. He's got it. They get him down, but this offense is set up 1st and goal from the 9. Defense is backed up. Shadow of the goalpost trying to defend their own end zone. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Finds his big tight end. They get it down to the 7 on that pass play in prime position for a score. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play call and everyone on the same page here. Looking for the touchdown on 3rd and goal. Throw to the end zone. It's picked off. And the senior just took that one out of the air and sends it the other way.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision making.
The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. So late in the half, this is really an opportunity, David, maybe to swing the momentum in their favor.
Dang right. There's no time to be concerned. If we're a little bit down, listen, I just think this is a point with the offense that they can prove. Like, we're here, we're going to create something now that we can build on in the second half.
Coach said all week he wanted to be aggressive. This is a great opportunity to show that right now. At the end of the first half, try and generate some momentum, score some points before going into halftime.
Off the deflection, missed a great chance to force the turnover. Instead, it'll be second down. Using the quick game, and he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. Might be decision time if the defense can get a stop on third down from the 45. They'll try to get the first through the air. And he makes the catch inside the 10. Run out of bounds just before he could get it into the end zone, and now they're set up first and goal. They ripped off a huge chunk, and now a little chunk is needed to pay it off. They want to throw it. And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. Trying to get to him. Didn't have much of a choice there but to get rid of it. It's still third and goal. He's looking downfield to throw. Snags it over the middle. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. And on fourth down, they'll try to salvage the drive with a field goal. And this one splits the uprights. So they get the late field goal right before the half, and not much time after this kickoff for an answer. He'll bring it back from inside the 15. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. Running out of time here in the first half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. They'll go to the ground. Good, solid run on that one as he gets it up to the 33-yard line. This offense has a second down play. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Gentlemen, tough to beat the pageantry and tradition there today in Oxford. Talk about a first half from that dude out of the backfield. He's been a total game changer. And how many top plays moments have we seen on missed tackles alone? Video game moves from one of the shiftiest players in all of college football. And with that, let's head back to the Grove at our fellas at Vaught Hemingway Stadium.
All lined up and ready to go for a great second half ahead. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. They start this third quarter in a big hole, and they have to start climbing out right now.
And they're going to have to be really aggressive. It's like this offense, when I'm playing from behind, every possession means so much more. And if you look the other side, the defense, they haven't given much resistance.
Yeah, nothing has gone their way in the first half offensively. And you know now, based on how this defense is playing with their confidence, that you are going to be challenged on every single snap. So buckle up, get your mind right, and get ready to come back in this game.
And the Rebels come to the line in the hurry-up. They're going to ride this running back. At the 40, there he goes. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down. The Rebels come to the line with a new set of downs. Off the play fake on first down. Looking to scramble. The quarterback scrambled around, but the defense able to scramble him and turn it into a sack.
I tell you what, the offense, they get the big run play, and then what are you thinking? Maybe play action, take a shot. How about the defense? They were ready to roll. Even though they gave up the run, they didn't just play the run. They were ready for the pass and got the big sack.
That is the last thing you want on first down as an offensive sack. Now it's second down. He's looking to throw. And the defense gets loose, bringing the heat, and down he goes again.
And it's been a long day for this offense. If you can't protect your quarterback, it's hard to be successful. That's the 5th sack they have given up. The offensive coordinator has no answers, and this defense has been flying around.
And whatever they did on first and second down, don't do that anymore. Third and very long coming up. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Fires toward the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. They certainly weren't afraid to take a shot there, and now it's 4th down. And the Rebels will line up to punt it away. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. Punt goes out of bounds, and a nice job to get them backed up. I think they'll spot it right around the 15. From the gun, the running back has it. Pushed his way ahead. Really good run to get it out to the 20, a pickup of 5. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. He's looking to throw. And that pass will be jarred loose on second down. That brings up 3rd down. We'll see if they go back to the air after the incompletion. It's 3rd and 5. Throws for the tight end. Another incompletion on 3rd down. The Sooners will punt this one away. He gets a block. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. So the offense keeps this drive alive thanks to the roughing the punter penalty. Quarterback on the keeper. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. Went to the running game on first down. Now here they come again. The run from the shotgun. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42. Come to the line at the 42, facing a 3rd and short. They'll try to bully their way for the first. They tried to go smash mouth on 3rd and short, and it did not work against this defense. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Catches it at the 15. Was looking for more running room, but found nothing but more tacklers. He's down at the 24. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. David, the punter got some work last time. They'd like to keep him on the sidelines in this drive.
Yeah, it's not something you want to say very often. You don't want the punter out there. This offense needs to get back lathered up and get a little bit more of a rhythm.
Best way to do that, identify where your best players are and just get them.
Oh, he just handled it poorly, and it's a fumble. Oh, looks as if the defense got it. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
Hey, you know what's really easy? It's easy to say, hey, quarterback, run out there, pitch off of that guy, and now your running back gets to go play one-on-one with somebody else. It's got to all work timing-wise, and the defense did a great job flying up, nowhere to go, make the play, make a quick decision, and you get the fumble and recover it in the backfield.
Give to the running back. And he's a real nowhere man tackled in this no-gain land. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Finds the tight end. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. A little less room to work with now as the ball's at the 28, and it's 3rd and long. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. And here comes the field goal unit. He's going to try to punch one through from 45 yards away. Splits the uprights, it's good. And now the lead is even bigger.
Winning the turnover battle is so important. You've got to make these turnovers convert into points. They get the fumble recovery. Yeah, they didn't get a touchdown, but they're still able to get a field goal and put 3 points up on the board.
They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. And after that last turnover, David, prime example sometimes the harder you try, the worse it... And he's running in the open. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Rebels! And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
Big-time players make big plays in big games, man. It seems like each and every week when this guy has an opportunity in the end zone, he's coming up with the big one. That time, great job focusing and concentration. Defense not able to cover him. That's his now 10th receiving touchdown on the year.
Why not double the try total and go for 2? Here's the snap, looking to throw. Almost had the completion, just missed it. Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. He'll start the return inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. So Oklahoma has it again, and here comes the offense. They've got the lead here. Last time they settled for a field goal, but David got to find that balance between being aggressive and careful.
And I think they'll take that. I got the lead, Palmer. I got the football. I got to take care of the football, put a nice drive together, and just get some kind of points on this drive.
No doubt. Lots to be happy about right now if you're this team. I think for this one, though, on this drive, it's about finding the one-on-one matchups that are in your favor and then exploiting them.
They're going to try to throw for it on 3rd down. Quickly to the tight end. He's run out of bounds, but he's got enough to move the sticks. And the Sooners will line it up on 1st and 10. Looking deep. And the DB right with him to knock it away. Line getting set on 2nd down. Now the play fake. Complete with conviction on the crosser. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure it to 1st down. The Sooners have this offense rolling. Handoff from the gun. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Win with the running game on 1st down, now back at it. Trying to make that rush think on the draw play here. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Ball's at the 47. They're looking at a 3rd down and short. From the gun, wants to pass. Moves away as he feels pressure. At the 35, he's got room. He gets the job done, picking up the 1st down, then getting down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Blasted as he lets it go. Finds his big tight end. Excellent job working through the air. They're finding a hole in that defense and picking up a 1st down. They'll run it. It's Morton. Headed to the end zone. He's run out of bounds after the big gain, and they are in business. 1st and goal. Goes to the option. Now the pitch. Touchdown Sooners! And the route is on. Offense gets the job done again. You want to build that cushion as we get deeper into the 2nd half.
Man, it makes it easy, doesn't it? You start getting up by a couple possessions, making the offense very predictable on the other side. Great job by the offense extending their lead.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Fresno State is down, but they are not out of it. Not there inside Bulldog Stadium, one of the more enjoyable places to watch a game in all of college football.
They'll throw it on 1st down.
It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Nevada. We've got our eye on this one and everything else going on throughout the day, guys.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. And they're trying to dig out of the hole on 2nd and long from the 9. He's looking to throw. Working that left side now. Great move. Now he's got room. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. It's complete to the right. The Rebels will punt it away on 4th down. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. Makes a move. He was working his way toward midfield, but they'll stop him at the 46-yard line. Here come the Sooners ready to go on offense. Really good balance on that last drive. They mixed it up all over the place, Jesse.
Yeah, how nice, too, to have the defense on their heels, because at this point, they don't know what's coming at them. They had problems stopping everything that last drive.
So I think this defense would come back with a little more aggressiveness. I mean, they let them have what they wanted. Now they got...
Touchdown, Oklahoma! And the pummeling has started.
And this offense is clicking. Another touchdown. Didn't have to go far for this drive, but this offense is doing what they want, how they want, when they want.
On to attempt the try. And the extra point just tacks a little bit more onto this huge lead. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
Oklahoma, 55. Ole Miss, 23.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
The last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable, that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
And they got him. He'll get him down for the sack.
They got more sacks than a grocery store. Goodness gracious, time and time again, getting to the quarterback, getting him on the ground. This defense having their way.
Big first down sack for the defense. Brings up 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Finds his man down the middle. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. He's got an open man. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. Leaves it with the running back. You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. Off play action. Fires to the middle. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And they got the defense on that one, and they get it to the 29-yard line. Running back searching for a hole. Able to pick up a couple down to the 27. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. They go right back to him. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. Already in chip shot field goal range at the 21, but this 3rd and short, they're still thinking touchdown. To the ground to try to move the chains. That just never had a chance as they controlled the middle of the field and stopped him in the backfield on 3rd down. Kick is good. The offense has 3 points to show for the drive. So after the made field goal, they'll kick it away and rely on their defense. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Guys, we'll get another look at this Oklahoma offense. Gives it to the back on the draw. He'll be stopped just short of the 20 at the 19. Give him one. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. And it's picked off for the 3rd time today. A return there would have just been icing on the cake. They'll just have to settle for the cake at the 23. Looking for a productive play on first down. They'll start this drive with a pass. Quick completion on the out route. And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain. And the Rebels have taken it inside the 20. Some misdirection with the counter. Tackled, but he has a first down. This offense in scoring position with a fresh set of downs. He's looking to throw. Coming after him. Keeps looking downfield. And he'll finish the run in the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Offense did exactly what it's supposed to do with a start like that one.
When you're set up with that field position, you're thinking touchdowns. You're not thinking field goals. It's exactly what the offense does. Takes advantage of great field position.
Getting set for the point after. Right down the boulevard. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And it was capped off with the 8-yard run. On the run from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. Here comes the Sooner offense back onto the field. Mistakes are going to happen, as they did on that last drive. Now, how will they respond, Jesse?
And this is the kind of guy who's going to take full accountability. That was my bad. That's on me. I'm about to lead this offense now down the field to score some points.
Dang, Palmer, I wish I would have played with you. I didn't play with many quarterbacks that were just like, yeah, my bad. Hey, guys, I got this. Sorry about that. It was more, I should have ran a better route.
On the ground, it's Morton. And excellent vision to find running room there and make a really good pickup before the defense put a stop to it. The Sooners have it with a 1st and 10. To the ground, he's got it again. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Got a little work done on first down, now back to the line. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Just a short pass to the tight end. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup. They'll snap it on first down from the 35. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Nice play by the defense, but now is a time they've got to be more consistent. They allowed this running back to go off in that first half, and moving forward now, they've got to try and take this running back away.
They'll run play action. Fires to the tight end. Tackled there by the defense. Ball's at the 25. They're in field goal range, but they'd love to convert this 3rd and short. He'll do it himself. Headed to the end zone. Touchdown Sooners! And the punishment has been extended.
Have yourself a day, young fella. You know why they handed him the ball a lot? Because he did that. That's his 4th trip to pay dirt. This dude has shown you a little bit of everything. What a great back. And 4 touchdowns on the day.
Lining up to add another. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown.
62, Ole Miss, 33.
Looking for an alley from inside his own 10. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. The give to the back. Maybe picked up a couple. He's down at the 24. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down.
Brings up second down.
They run the reverse. That one did not go well. Tackled in the backfield for a loss of 6. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Pulls it in. He'll make a play on 3rd down. He's got enough for the first as they mark it at the 32. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Finds enough room to get 3 out to the 34. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. He's looking to throw. Finds his tight end. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. They've got it at the 41, 3rd and short, trying to keep the chains moving. They'll try to run for it. The Rebels get it past the sticks. They've been very sharp on this drive so far. Now 1st and 10 from the 43. We reach the quarter break with Oklahoma on top. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. I guess if you're an optimist, the stage is set for a massive 4th quarter comeback. Comes out throwing on 1st down. Got his man down the middle. They make the stop right there. Good pickup. It's still short of the 1st down. They're about to snap it for the 7th time on this drive. He's looking for a man on 2nd down. Fires to the big fella. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a 1st down.
Yeah, and Palmer, I don't know what his grade's going to be, but hitting over 400 yards on the day, I think coaches are going to be pretty impressed with the day this young man had.
No doubt. And I think for defensive coordinators moving forward now, you're going to be charged with having to find answers to try to slow this guy down. Today, we've seen this defense try blitzing, zone coverage, man coverage. They've mixed up personnel. None of it has worked. This guy has carved them apart.
He'll come out throwing on 1st down. Quickly out to the tight end. He's brought down. Solid pickup, but a little bit short of the 1st down. Completion a little short of the sticks. It's 2nd down. Oh, it's a reverse. And maybe they want to try somewhere else because there is nothing doing in the middle of this defense.
For an offense, to make the wide receiver reverse work, you've got to have a lot of guys doing a good sell job. Running backs have to behave as if they're actually going to keep the football, and everybody else on offense has to be yelling out, run, to try to make the defense over-pursue, but no Oscars being handed out on that.
Down by multiple possessions, you can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on 4th down. They get him on the ground, but not before he gets enough for the 1st down. And the Rebels will snap it on 1st and 10. From the red zone, he's going to throw it. He wants it all. He makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Rebels.
Yeah, nice pitch, nice catch. And listen, maybe this helps next game, right? Like we're trying to find a rhythm, find something that works, find somebody to go to. And this offense is struggling. You're down by 1,000, but I like that they continue to fight.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. And it's up and good. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
All right, guys, want to update you on a game that went final moments ago. Miami endured a hostile crowd and the challenge that always comes with playing away from Yager Stadium, and the Red Hawks came away with the win. It wasn't a blowout, but it is a W. 60 minutes of football and a convincing outcome, and certainly a game with implications far beyond just the standings, fellas.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. Tried to move that pile forward. He maybe gets 2. He's down at the 21. A third and long coming up here. On the move, it's Morton. Slips a tackle, and he's got room. And that stiff arm is a weapon for this runner. He uses it and picks up a first down.
And it's really nice to have a workhorse running back that you know you can feed and get productive gain after gain. Now over 100 yards. You've already got some separation on the scoreboard. I would continue to feed this workhorse.
9-yard pickup on first down, and now they can take a shot on second and short. Pre-snap motion in the backfield. Looking to throw on second down. Got it behind the line. It's Morton. He stopped almost immediately. He didn't get much, but he didn't need much. They've got the first down. They'll put the tight end in motion. To the ground with the back. And the freshman does a great job using his technique and getting the man on the ground. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to the ground with the running back. And he finds some solid space. Makes a nice game before the defense is able to stop him. 3rd and short coming from the 34. You wonder if this is 4-down territory. They'll pick up enough yardage for the first down. They've got it at the 30. Tune in to the Ocho. 8th play of the drive coming up. Here's the handoff.
Everything going the offense's way. They're trying to ice this game late. They've got a really nice lead, so you just want to run the ball, high percentage throws, and keep the chains moving, and they're doing that. This has been a beautiful drive to watch. Offense continues to stay in a nice rhythm here late.
Long drive continues as the offense keeps working the ball down the field. From the red zone, looking for a space. It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. And they've converted their first 2 third-down opportunities, but a 3rd and long is a different animal. The RPO, it's complete. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. And here comes the field goal unit. This kicker has already made a couple today. It is true as he puts 3 on the board. And that will extend their lead even further. They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They'll throw it on first down. Pocket starts to collapse. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
This is just so demoralizing. You want to talk about taking a game over. That's what this defense is doing right now. They are just winning in the trenches. They're easily the more athletic and more physical unit up front, dominating this O-line.
Hoping to find one that works this time on second down from the 7. He's looking to throw. Gets it out quickly. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. Feeling some heat. And the 3rd down pass is incomplete. The Rebels will send out the punt unit. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He just wanted to get it out of there from his end zone. And the returner will be brought down. Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. So last time, David, they ate up some clock, ran a bunch of plays, but settled for the field goal.
Yeah, but they're still up, Reese, and I like where I'm at. And if I'm on offense right now, my job is to put another long drive together, eat more clock, and get another score.
Just got to be better in the red zone this time around. When they get down close to the goal line, you need better execution to put a touchdown on the board here.
They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. Right back to the well. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. And the Sooners will call on their punt team. He's getting a lot of work. Fourth time he's punted tonight. They call it a coffin corner kick for a reason, and you really can't do it any better than that. He puts that thing out of bounds right around the goal line. Leaves it with the back. Gets a nice surge and crosses the 5 to the 6-yard line, a pickup of 3. Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7. He's looking to throw. Gets it out fast. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. So 3rd and short from inside the 20. You convert here, and this drive takes on a different complexion. Fires to the big fella. And he's tripped up, but not before picking up the first down. And the Rebels come to the line with a fresh set of downs. To the air on first down. Unloads to the wideout. Got his man. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's first down. The Rebels are on the move. Looking to go up top on first down. Finds the tight end.
And defensively, this is exactly what you want, right? You've got the big lead, so you can play big zone coverages. Just keep the ball in front of you. Keep your eye on the quarterback. Rally to the football. Gang tackle. You're going to win this game.
Ran through the tackle, and he's got room to run. And oh, he was off to the races after the catch, and they finally drag him down. Going up top on first down. Quickly to the tight end. They make the stop after the catch, and still some work to do to pick up that first down. A little bit more to go after that last completion. They'll try to pick it up on second down. He'll just keep slinging it. Fires to the right. It's caught. Got a lot of running room. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Ole Miss! This game must be moving so slowly for this quarterback. He sees everything 2 or 3 beats ahead.
Way ahead. I mean, it's been really, really easy. I better get some more hits on him. I better do something to make him feel uncomfortable. Because right now, it's just like, oh, you're running that? Yeah, that's easy. I mean, he's already read your mail. You better change the address, do something different.
The AT unit on the field. Hit that one with some aggression for the point after. The deficit is huge. This one is all but over, but they'll keep trying and line up for the onside kick. They'd hope to get that thing bouncing around, but the hands team is able to corral it. The Sooner offense returns to the field. They had to punt it away on their last possession, but man, what great field position this time.
I mean, this is awesome. Like, last possession didn't go great. Now you're set up in an opportunity to get some points. Start thinking about what plays I like, Jesse, as I cross the 50.
There are a lot of offensive coordinators out there, David, and in this position, they like to take a shot right away and try and capitalize on this field position.
And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. From the 36, a 3rd down, and you wonder if they're willing to take 2 plays to get the first. It's a reverse. Sweet cut there. And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down. Trying to find his man on first down. Unloads to the right. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. After the quarterback and receiver couldn't connect, it's 2nd and 10. He'll pull it on the read. He picks up 4. That'll leave them with 3rd and 6. Trying to pick up a first down. On the ground, trying to pull the plug on this clock. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. This field goal unit getting some serious run. They've already been out there 3 times. The kicker will try it again. Between the uprights, it's good. And now the lead is extended a little further.
68, Ole Miss, 47.
That lead just keeps getting fatter, and this kickoff team doing a little running. On the move from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. That last drive, an absolute aerial assault for the touchdown, Jesse.
But it was a nice job in play calling, too, David, just giving the quarterback some easy looks and reads so he could go out and execute.
And he knew exactly where to go with the football. Everything looked really, really easy. He was hot. The ball was coming out of his hands. The defense better do something different.
And after the incompletion on first down, this offense looking at second down. The snap sets up to throw. Nowhere to go, and the ball is loose. Defense coming up with a huge fumble recovery. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own. And the quarterback just ran out of time there, and they were able to knock it free.
Quarterbacks have got to do a great job keeping two hands on the football, especially in passing situations like that, because you know defenders are swatting at the ball. Even if you can't see them, these guys, they're 6'5", 6'6", they've got long arms. They're trying to rip and tug away and get that ball out of your hands. The QB will learn from this play. He's got to do a better job with this fight.
Touchdown, Oklahoma! And the stomping has commenced. They give themselves a little more cushion as they try to reel off their 4th straight win.
Nice job on the route and catch by the tight end scoring that touchdown. And it doesn't matter what play this offense calls. All game long, everything has been working. This has been a master class in offensive productivity.
Lining up for the PAT. The kick is up and good, and put one more on the lead. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, right back to your game after we update the nation on this one. Hawaii came through with a lunch pail hard hat performance, and the end result is an eye-opening road victory. And I guess it's not so much that the Rainbow Warriors won, it's more how they won. The circle of life in college football, where one team moves on feeling like kings and the other heads home licking its wounds.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. A strike downfield. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. 2 minutes now left in this one, and time is running short if they want to find a way to pull this one out. Wants to throw on first down. Got away from trouble and got rid of it. Got the back over the middle.
And I know this football game is over, but we got to keep fighting. We got to keep finding something, some kind of rhythm in this offense, something we can hang our hat on that we do really, really well. Listen, the intermediate passing game like this has taken over college football, short to intermediate. So if they can find some of this, it'll help their offense moving forward.
Back to the air one more time. He makes the connection. Offense gets set for second down. He's looking to throw. They're bringing heat. And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
And man, is that just indictment of the day. Your quarterback getting drilled late in the football game. This offense has sputtered. They haven't found any kind of good rhythm. They haven't done things that really gives your coach confidence and makes you want to believe in them. This offense has a lot of work to do before their next football game.
If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum. He's got the tight end.
And listen, the defense playing really conservative, right? You got the lead, but here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get sacks. I got to get to the quarterback. I got to make sure I'm getting him, knocking him off the spot. Padding my stats, by the way. Got a lot of sacks late in games, and we had a big lead, but that's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Keep competing, defense.
Desperately wanted to keep the ball, but they did not. They'll keep it on the ground to keep this clock moving. Just what they were looking for to get this drive rolling. They're out to the 35. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Ball is at the 35. It's 1st and 10. The give on the inside. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe. 2nd and 7. Stuck with a running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. Just feeds the running back. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42. Just complete and utter dominance in this one. Outplayed their opponent and took care of business.
Yeah, total domination in all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. This team came ready to play, and man, it was pedal to the metal right from the opening kickoff.
And that's how you like it. Forget the close games, forget the heartbreakers, this play could decide it. Just frying pan, meat face, ball game over.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.